And our lead on this being opening day in baseball is basketball. Pro bouncy ball. Now, we are in the final days of the regular season. It's actually going to end soon, and then the players will actually try. It's normally what happens. The calm before the storm of the postseason, which is on the horizon. And with that as the backdrop, we have the words of the chrome-domed commissioner of the NBA that are bouncing around the echo chamber. So I don't know if you heard about this or not, maybe not. Adam Silver sounding alarm bells. What is he concerned about? What is the commissioner concerned about? Well, the NBA commissioner concerned over the, quote, trend of star players not participating in a full complement of games. The commissioner says that the hope is the league will work with the Players Association to, get the players to actually show up to work. It's just outrageous. Think about the commission. Well, we're going to try to work with the union so we can get the players to actually, play in the games. Silver claimed he didn't have a, quote, great solution. He spoke at the NBA owners meetings. They don't call them owners anymore because Draymond Green was offended by that, but they're actually owners that got together in a Midtown Manhattan get-together. So part of the issue, this is a quote, part of the issue, Silver said, is injuries. One of the things we have focused on at the league office, and we're spending, he said, we have begun to spend a lot of time pre-pandemic, so he's blaming the pandemic. Are there things we can do in terms of sharing information and resources around the league to improve best practices or rehabilitation, blah, 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 blah. Now, Silver went on to say that he is talking about creating other incentives to get players to, again, do their job. He mentioned he loves the play-in tournament. He would like to have another tournament in the middle of the season. Why don't they just play a tournament? How about they just play a freaking tournament and then that's it, get rid of the regular season? He talked about shortening the regular season in this rant. So let us discuss. The NBA is now admitting they have a problem, something that we've been saying for many, many years. The NBA was in denial about. So the question on this one, how much is Commissioner Adam Silver to blame for the eyesore that is regular season NBA basketball? So when we pull out the MALLER blame game board, Adam Silver gets 75%. 75% is the answer. Adam Silver is the guy that wants to be the cool teacher. He wants all the kids to like him, and he doesn't force the kids to do their schoolwork, right? The students end up throwing spitballs at the teacher and walking all over him. That's Adam Silver in a nutshell when it comes to players playing in games. It's embarrassing, and the fact that it took this long for Silver to sound the alarm bells. Now, I have a theory that part of this is because of gambling. And the NBA is now a gambling organization. They're in bed with the gamblers. And anybody that knows a thing or two about gambling knows it's a bad look. People don't want to bet. People who bet on sports, the casual square gambler, when they bet on a competition, they think that player X is going to play. And they find out 5 minutes before the game that player X isn't playing and he's not hurt. It's just load management. And they bet their hard-earned money on that. They never want to bet again. The NBA needs that gambling revenue. So my theory is that a lot of this is based on gambling and the casual gambler who's losing money betting on teams thinking that star players are going to play. And so the NBA is getting noise from the gambling community. That's the only thing that's changed. Because this has been going on for years, and the NBA has done nothing about it. Now, all of a sudden, they're like, well, we're going to do something. And Adam Silver, if he wants to know who to blame, look at the mirror on the wall. Open your eyes. Adam Silver is Victor Frankenstein in the lab who did the unorthodox science experiment. He fed the monster of load management before now trying to kill off load management, at least cut back on it, for several years. The commissioner openly rooted for laziness. He championed a generation of NBA players who chose not to show up to games if they weren't 100%. Do their job is the phrase. And so think about it. The most important employees at the business are the players, and the person who's the management person is like, show up when you feel good. You don't want to show up to the office today and play. It's all right. And now that this has become a thing, it's the new standard. And so he's trying to unring the bell. Good luck unringing the bell. Let me know. It's never happened before. I'm sure now it'll happen. Now, second, is it true that Adam Silver is the definition, the personification of a book-smart guy who lacks common sense? I'm nodding my head yes on this. Adam Silver is an educated man. He can flash his degrees from Duke and the University of Chicago. Very impressive to talk about that stuff at a cocktail party out in the Hamptons. But when it comes to street smarts, he's a wide-eyed country bumpkin. It is staggering when you juxtapose Adam Silver and his predecessor as the NBA commissioner, David Stern. Also, by the way, a scholarly guy, David Stern. However, David Stern was streetwise. There's a difference. Stern knew right away when Greg Popovich, Pop, sent those Spurs players back home from Florida on a Southwest Airlines flight years ago. Immediately, David Stern said, we got a problem. He knew that this was a pernicious situation. It was bad for the business of basketball. And what did David Stern, the old commissioner, say? We got to put a stop on it. We got to put the kill on this, right? And we got to end it right now. It's harmful in a subtle way. And so David Stern attempted to restore order and nip this in the bud. And dumb people who watch sports said, what's the big deal? It doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. Well, here we are now, and look what we've got. Adam Silver, the commissioner that took over after David Stern, he took the opposite position. He supported the crowd and said, what's the big deal? And being gullible, he bought into the voodoo medicine that you can predict with tremendous accuracy when a player is going to get hurt based on how many minutes or how many games they play. And I keep going back to the fact that Adam Silver wanted to win the popularity contest. And I pointed this out. We said it when this became a thing years ago. We still believe this. We have not changed our position that everyone's different. You're different than me, and I'm different than the person over there and over in the back. We're all different. We're the same, but we're different. When it comes to injuries, it's not one size fits all. And the people that are selling this nonsense are like, if you play X number of games in a span of 2 weeks and this number of minutes, you're going to have a stress fracture. And it's just nonsense is what it is. But they've been able to convince the people that run the NBA for years to go with it. So when you look at what has happened, Adam Silver is an enabler. He is an accessory after the fact. He didn't start it, but he certainly helped assist the players' bad behavior, encouraging it, and allowing them to escape any punishment from the NBA. And the media, of course, the slobbering fanboys in the media thought it was a great idea. All right, final point. So which player is the forefather to modern load management? You probably think I'm going to name a San Antonio Spur player because I brought up the Spurs and the Southwest Airlines flight back home that David Stern lost his lunch on. No. The forefather of the modern load management is the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. He is the Typhoid Mary of NBA load management. Now, there had been guys that took nights off before Shaq, but nobody did it with the pizzazz of Shaquille O'Neal. I'll take you back now in the Wayback Machine to 2002. It was Shaq playing for the Lakers. He got hurt at the end of the 2002 season. He got injured at the end of that previous season, so they were getting ready for the 2002-2003 season. And Shaq said, you know what? I want to enjoy my summer. I'm a socialite. I'm Shaquille O'Neal, man. And so he's like, I want to fly those private jets. I want to stay at the luxury hotels. I want to enjoy my life. So then when the next season started, he showed up and he needed surgery. He had a bad toe. He had this arthritic toe, as I remember. So he needed his toe operated on. But Shaq's like, I ain't going to have surgery during the offseason. So he elected to get surgery like a couple of days before training camp opened up. And one of the great quotes of all time, right up there with Patrick Ewing, when he said during a work stoppage, we make a lot of money, but we spend a lot of money. Well, Shaquille O'Neal was asked why he waited for the operation, and his words would become the slogan of the modern NBA player. These are guys in the NBA right now that were little kids. They were toddlers. They were in diapers. They were pooping their bed when Shaq did this 20 years ago. But Shaq said, I got hurt on company time, so I'll heal on company time. And here we are, ta-da, 20 years later, and we are seeing the fruits of that labor. A whole generation now. Those kids were little kids. They didn't even know who Shaq was. They were little kids in the NBA. Many of the young guys in the NBA now, but they believe in that mantra. They've been raised in that environment. The people at the NBA, like Adam Silver, have supported it. So here's what you got. You got a league of lazy players that don't want to play, and you've got gambling people. That's my opinion, what I'm hearing here. They're like, wait a minute here. We got a lot of money invested in this. We want people to bet on the games. The stars aren't playing. They could play. They're not playing. So 20 years later, and that's where we are. And how do you get out of that hole? Well, it's going to take a long time to get out of that hole because the players believe it's now their birthright to not play in regular season games. They believe they've earned that right. They're superstars, and they've got guaranteed contracts, and that's the way it's going to be. And the people around my age look at this and say, what are you doing? What happened to the code of the West, right? Take pride in your work. Finish what you start. You get paid a lot of money. Have some pride in your work that you want to do the job and not just take the money. But that's not the mindset today. The mindset is like, hey, the other guys before me did it, so that's what I'm entitled. If I don't want to play the full schedule and I'm not feeling right, back to back, a week, we have 4 or 5 games in a week. Oh my God, take a couple of games off. I don't care if it's on the road and people are spending $300 on a ticket to watch me play. Doesn't matter. I'm not worried about those people. They're below me. They're peons. They're the hoi polloi is what those people are. So good luck. But that's a lot of chutzpah, as my grandfather would say, for Adam Silver, who was cheering this on for several years. And now he's like, well, I'd like to see the players playing more games. Okay. All right. Man, oh man.